Why do you feel anxious even when nothing is wrong? How can this be that you're moving forward in life for a couple of weeks or months, and then, out of nowhere, you're at the same spot again? The self-sabotage happened again, and you feel confused. You feel like you don't know what's happening. You don't know what kind of direction your life you should take. How can this be? A lot of people think, okay, this is a discipline problem. I just need to be more disciplined. No, it's not. Behind this so-called discipline problem is a deeper issue. And Carl Jung, he knew all of that long ago, right? But a lot of people don't talk in society about that. They just talk about strategies and fancy tactics that actually don't bring you further. And later you just wonder where the fuck I am again. Okay? So Carl Jung said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Okay? So what's happening with a lot of people, like basically everyone has it, is that there are unconscious aspects of you. It's like every person has different personalities. So in reality, multiple personality disorder is not just someone that some people have and some others don't. Everyone has it. Sounds crazy, but this is the truth of humanity. Okay, so every person has different aspects in their psyche, right? And a lot of these things are unconscious. These aspects that keep sabotaging myself, that are being suppressed, this is what Carl Jung called the shadow, right? And as long as this one keeps being unconscious, keep being suppressed, for some kind of weird reason, you will find yourself very often the same place in life again, or with huge anxiety, for example, right? And I give you now an example from my life. In the past, for example, like at the very beginning when I started, I had huge anxiety where I was going. And it was so terrible that I ended up in a clinic, okay? For multiple months, I was in a fucking clinic. And I didn't understood anything back then. But nowadays, where I have grown above that, I of course understand what's happening. And my life was just terrible. I could not go anywhere, and it felt, I could not go anywhere without feeling anxious. And yeah, it was so terrible. Even going to the supermarket, so I was feeling fucked up. But then something happened. Okay, at some point, I learned that, okay, so I feel basically anxious, and I realized this part, and I realized there are also other things in me. Like I can actually be bold and confident, right? And I integrated, I stopped resisting this anxious part. And I also realized these other opposite aspects. So every aspect has its opposite aspect of one, right? You can be shy, but at the same time, you have a very confident part in you. Sounds maybe some people crazy, but it's really like that. There's usually always an opposite part in you. Especially if you resist it or if it's not integrated, the stronger the opposite part in you is. So I found out, okay, I have also this confident part in me, this bold part in me. Okay, I was just not aware of that. That's basically what happened. And as I integrated more, I realized, okay, I don't have to have anxiety all the time. Okay, I just can live a normal life. Okay, so what can you do now to do something about it? To understand the shadow, and what is it about it all? So it's basically just making these unconscious aspects of your conscious. By doing that, by understanding what they want, why you resist them, and what they need, you start to integrate them. You start to integrate them instead of resisting them. So it's all about understanding them. By giving them understanding and trying to understand them rather than forcing to suppress them, your self-sabotage will stop. Okay, so after this video, you will know how to stop your self-sabotage, how to stop your anxiety, okay, and get direction in life. So it works like that. The easiest way to do that, the most simple way, is really not looking at yourself at the start, because it's always hard for us to look at oneself, right? It's to look at other people. What are the people that you know that you hate? So what type of people do you hate? Like 3 to 5 type of people that you don't like. Okay, these things that you usually dislike about them, like be more precise, what are the characteristics that you dislike? It's usually not the entire personality. These things that you dislike usually have yourself. I know it sounds crazy, right? But there are usually some aspects of you that are similar to these aspects that you see in these people. Okay. So for example, a long time ago, I was thinking about people, and I just thought, fuck them. They are so fucking ignorant. It's unimaginable, right? Fuck them. But then at some point, and maybe it was because I was journaling or meditating, at some point I thought, wait, what if I actually have this problem? Okay? And then I just realized that, I started to recognize that, like, yeah, I think it's really like that. I don't know how the fuck I came to this conclusion back then. I didn't know about shadow work, but I just started to accept this part, basically. Like, yeah, I think it is that way. It's actually not these people. And then it faded away. Like at some point I started to see, okay, it's not them. Fuck this. It's not them, right? It was just my decision. I was ignorant, right? And because of that, it happened that I was seeing my own reflection in this world, right? You see your shadow always in this world because inside of you. So no matter where you go, you can't escape. This is the hard truth. Okay. And so basically, you look at these traits that you dislike about them. And then you ask yourself, okay, how you try to understand it by asking yourself, for example, this question like, how is this trying to help you, trying to keep you safe? So this one thing, how is this reaction trying to keep you safe, right? For example, if you have resistance towards angry person, right? Let's say you're afraid to be angry. Usually it's all about survival. So usually it tries to keep you safe by not trying to be angry and not being rejected by other people, right? So at the end, you don't want to be rejected, you want to survive, right? Like everyone, right? So it's not about talking positive. It's finding advantages in the disadvantage or in the seemingly disadvantage, right? Even though it seems like a bad trait, what is something good about that benefits you? Like benefits, for example, your survival. Doesn't mean that you have to find it super lovey-dovey, right? Okay, so how is it trying to protect you, basically? Another thing that you can ask yourself is, okay, like, how does it benefit you if you keep resisting that? So there must be a hidden benefit. Why did you learn as a child why it's bad for you to have this trait, right? When did you make the experience that it's bad to have that? And once you find that, you will realize that there's a reason, maybe in your parents' household, in your society. Someone didn't want to see that. Maybe lazy people were not most likely were not like to be seen because it did count as a bad virtue, right? Because you had to look like you work 24/7, right? Even if nowadays it doesn't make sense, right? So, and then you learned, okay, fuck this. Yeah, I can't be lazy. I'm not allowed to rest, right? You have always to do. Even if it's actually not productive, because if you can't rest, you can also fully work. So, and what did you learn about the opposite aspect? So if your suppressed aspect is being lazy, how does this other aspect tries to keep you safe? So this aspect of being disciplined, for example, how is this trying to keep you safe? What does it try to protect you from? Maybe it's afraid to rest, right? Maybe it's deeply afraid to rest. Or as the first example where I was talking about this angry person, what is this harmonious aspect of you trying to keep you safe from? Maybe it's just one's connection, harmony. It's afraid, right, to be rejected, right? And what's the shadow side of this aspect that you're right now already identifying with? Whenever you suppress an aspect of you, your subconscious automatically tries to exaggerate the other one. It's not your fault. It just happens. Okay, so it just happens, not your fault. These things is just how the psyche works. So one aspect is suppressed, like the lazy part. Your subconscious try to exaggerate the disciplined part in you. As a result of that, you're over-identified with that. It's hard for you to turn off, right? So basically, it's about understanding both of these parts. So, it's like yin yang. It's like understanding both of these parts and create a bridge between them. As soon as you do that, you will understand they are actually both connected, right? And the hard part is when you look at these people that you despise, that you noticed, okay, there's something in me that could be similar to them. And it's important that you are open to see, okay, it could be that there is something similar to them, because this is the reason why you resist it. These are the rules of the universe, okay? The reason why people resist something that is in other people is because they have the same aspects in them, right? This is why people have war at the end, right? So try to be open, even if you think, oh, gosh, it's unimaginable to have something like they. Try to be open. You don't have to talk it nice, right? You just need to be trying to be open that there is something in you that could be it could be the same aspect, like you see in other people that you dislike very strong, right? If it doesn't help, you can try to ask other people for feedback, or looking back in the past when you got feedback, especially different feedback, right? Different feedback from different people, what they told you, what you gain on average, and then look what is about this feedback, especially if it's triggering you, right? There's some truth if things are triggering you. And as you understand, okay, now you can ask yourself, what are these parts actually needing? Also, what are their needs and wants, right? So the discipline part, what does it want? Probably being productive or something like that, right? And the lazy part, it's not really about becoming lazy or become over-disciplined. It's about finding something good in these aspects. Like instead, you don't really want to be lazy, for example, but you want to see the benefit. And this is, for example, like that you're capable of resting. And the first example about the angry person, like I said, the benefit about becoming angry is not really that you're angry 24/7, but maybe that you can stand to yourself, right? That you don't have to hold into harmony. Okay? So this is how it looks like. You don't really want to become, again, extremely like that. You just want to have the hidden benefit of that, right? You don't have to become like totally like that, no, super lazy, out of nowhere super angry, like, right? And now try to look, what is an action that you can take to integrate these aspects more, right? What are the parts? Like if you feel like you have anxiety and the opposite part is like the bold part or the confident part, try to find out what they want and need and try to talk with them, okay? And also look, what is the reason why you are maybe not connected to these parts? So what did happen in childhood that was not benefiting that? It was not okay in your household to have that, right? And then you just take the action, like any kind of action that helps you to integrate these parts, to move towards that. So for example, if you were like more lazy person, you try to rest more, right? You try to rest more, you just look for that, and then you look how this part reacts. You just observe what is happening. By understanding these parts, their needs and wants and their pains, and then building this bridge between them. So finding basically the bridge between these parts. This is how you close the gap. This is how they get integrated. And the self-sabotage ends. Okay? And the same, by the way, is not just with people that you dislike. This is an important part, the last part of the video. It's also to look at people that you really love strongly. Almost like you idealize them, right? Because these are the parts that you disowned. So everyone has that. It's inside of us. All of these things are all inside of us. We can't escape them anyway. You can dislike them, it's all okay, but you can't escape that. This video is really brutal. So, yeah, just look what are the parts that you really love about other people, like 3 to 5 people, and what are these characteristics. These are the things that you started to disown yourself. You suppress them also very strong in yourself. And you can do the same exercise. You just try to understand what it tries to protect you from, right? What are the needs and wants? And what is the opposite of this aspect, of course? Like if you feel really strong love towards people who are confident, for example. Let's say you're okay, if you really, really like these people much. What is the opposite of this aspect? The chances high that you right now identify with that. Like the opposite is maybe being shy or something like that, or right, not being confident. If you understand that just these two opposite aspects, right, and you just need to understand their needs, desires, wants, and why they try to protect you from, where it comes from, you create a bridge. And this counts for people you dislike and also for people you love. By understanding that, you create one thing. You make the unconscious conscious and the shadow merge into one. Okay, this is one important step that you need to take. And if you have questions, comment below. Also, if you are interested to work one-on-one with me, I offer it right now. And I help especially men who feel stuck in life and self-sabotage themselves but want to find direction in their identity, right? So the Calendly link is, I think, in my bio. In my bio. And yeah, I see you next time. Bye-bye.